Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have the photographer Andrew. Andrew is from Connecticut in the USA. So let's see what Andrew has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello Andrew.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you today?
But how are you?
I'm very well, thanks so much. Thanks for waking up on Sunday morning so early for the interview.
I'm glad to do it. This is sweet of you.
Amazing, amazing. How's the weather look like right now over there? Early morning.
It's a beautiful morning. It's 54 degrees, which I don't know what that is in your world. On your planet.
Yes.
It's dry, it's lovely.
Right. Here in London today, it's been a bit cloudy, like gray, but still a bit warm. It's still warm today.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why. This is August. This should be our hottest, but it's not. So I'm not complaining.
You know, the word right now is all mixed up. Sometimes, it's cold. Sometimes it's warm. You never know. You never prepare for today.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
Okay, Andrew, just before we start the game, just tell me where you're from.
I'm from Reading, Connecticut.
Okay.
Which is north. We're in the southwest corner of Connecticut.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's the best part of living over there?
We live in a town, in a pretty rural town. Unlike a lot of towns surrounding us, I'm very concerned with open space. And there's beautiful hiking trails. We actually are just back from taking our dog for the hike, this morning hike. So yeah, it's a lovely town.
And what do you do for a living?
I am semi-retired. I am a photographer. I photograph the nude. Generally the male nude.
Right.
It's my passion. It makes me a very little amount of money, but I'm meeting amazing people, making some good art, I think. So it's wonderful. I tell everybody, have a passion.
Amazing.
Get your passion and get your passion now. Because if you suddenly find yourself without a job, if you suddenly find yourself in a pandemic, it's good to have a passion.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. I think when you have a passion, it's a genuine thing. I think it can go anywhere. You can go any direction when you have a passion and we invest on it. You put all your, all your thoughts, your tears, your sweat, everything. I think it just flow up and just, explode around, and people can see that.
Yes, yeah.
And how photography came into your life?
I've always had a camera of some sort. I'm not a technically very strong photographer, so I've got a lot of photographer friends who will look at a photo and they say, wow, what f-stop were you shooting at? I don't know. What was your ISO? I don't know. So people even ask me, what model camera do you use? It's like, let me go look.
Learning. I think that's the good part of it. When you are, enjoying, learning, and growing, and that's the whole part of the journey. I believe that.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, Andrew, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life, your point of views?
Yes, I am.
Good. Very good.
How do I win?
Right, so welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I've got here a little box full of random fun questions, okay? So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to play a song, okay? Just for us to move a little bit, to wake you up a little bit from the morning, before the first question. Ready?
Okay.
And just before we start as well, if there is a question you don't have an answer for, you don't want to answer, I always can change for another one, okay? It's very friendly and chilled, okay? No pressure.
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, Andrew, ready for the first question?
I am ready for the first question.
Let's do it. Right.
Yes.
How would your best friend describe yourself?
Interesting, they describe me as outgoing. I describe myself as being shy. And somebody recently said, okay, that may have been true, but that's an old script. That's not you anymore. I love, as my husband says, my drug of choice is people. So I love interaction with people. I'm loving this. So I guess I'm no longer shy, but so people, I think, describe me as sort of outgoing.
Very good. Second question. Let's do it. Let's go for the second question. Okay. Right. First, the second question is, what is the worst thing someone can say on a first date, in your opinion?
Wow. It's been over 40 years since my last first date. Well, this is a sensitive one for me, and it would translate to a first date. What type of car do you drive?
Oops.
I'm a lot more interesting than the kind of car I drive.
I think that would be a disaster. That's funny. I think the date is more interested what you have than who you are. You know what I mean?
Yes. Sometimes around here, people want to know the square footage of your house.
Oops.
I don't know the square footage of my house. And anyway.
Let's go for another one.
This isn't a therapy session, right?
It's kind of a therapy. We are learning from each other, yeah? Next one.
Okay.
Okay, Andrew, just before the next question, tell me a little bit about your book called Being Seen.
Do I have a book?
Wow. Beautiful. Tell me a little bit about it.
It's one of my greatest accomplishments. I am incredibly proud. I am incredibly grateful. It's full of amazing human beings who are willing to be naked and vulnerable for me to make art. I've become very close friends with some of these people. It's been wonderful. My internet or my computer family has just been incredibly embracing. It's been wonderful. It's been amazing. I sold out I did a limited edition, and that sold out. And then I did a soft cover, not realizing I just didn't want to have a bunch of books in my basement. So I didn't have them print a lot, and that sold out. So now I have more printed. Anyway, it's really very wonderful.
And what was the biggest inspiration for you to start this project?
You know, I think I've been talking about it for a long time, and I don't know if this falls under inspiration, but I believe it happened because of the pandemic. And I'm noticing that something good comes out of everything. And I certainly wouldn't wish a pandemic on all of us ever again. But it gave me time. I wasn't shooting models. I wasn't comfortable bringing people into the studio. I did a couple shoots with masks on. The camera would fog up. My glasses would fog up. And also, I because I'm a people person, I need that connection with the model. And somehow the mask became a barrier for me.
I see.
So I think the pandemic gets to take some credit for this.
I'll tell you something now, Andrew. I can tell, I can sign underneath what you just said, because this project I'm working right now, Willy and the Magic Box, came out around the same time as well.
Oh.
I got goosebumps now talking about it. It's interesting because I always being a very proactive person, you know, like before the pandemic, always being like my normal life. I'm always busy. I'm always doing something. And when the pandemic started out, I had no choice. Everyone needs to be locked at home. And I'll tell you something now, I never felt so down and depressed in my life in the beginning. You know, I remember my friends, they calling me, they were like, oh my God, William, I'm just wondering if you're okay, because I know how much, you know, you're very proactive, you're always doing something, and now you are locked down. And I was like, oh no, I'm fine in the beginning. But like after a while, I found myself in a place that I'd never been before. And very interesting, I went for a run one day in the park, like a run just to exercise, and these ideas just came up to my mind, and I was like, oh my God, that's what I'm gonna do for life. And it's interesting because as you said, of course, besides the sadness, beside the, you know, in the world, besides the whole, you know what I mean, bad things that this pandemic brought, at the same time as well, a lot of beautiful things came along, you know. I think people, they found so much creativity that they was hidden somewhere, that they would never find if they were not going through this process that the whole world was facing. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
So I totally understand what you're saying, because I found this creativity, something that was hidden. You know, that's, I think if I wasn't locked, you know what I mean, like in this, let's say, negative words, I would never find this beautiful thing that just came along. So yes, and I totally understand what you mean. I think we adjust ourselves to this new world, you know what I mean? I think everyone adjusts, and as you said, beautiful things came along as well. I think that's look in a positive way, a lot of beautiful things came along. I think the human being, we are so creative, and I think that was the good part of this challenging time that the world is facing right now. So yeah, I agree with you.
And I do think what you're doing is a beautiful thing. We're so fractured in this world right now, and what you're doing is huge. You know, if we can understand each other, if we can just hear each other's stories, I believe that's the only way we're going to get through as a species.
Absolutely, and I believe as well that you know, people around the globe, they have so much to share. The human beings, they are so interesting, and sometimes people around the world, I see this as a platform for people to share their life, their opinion, you know what I mean, their positivity, their negativity, anything they can share in the world. And I'm sure people from the other side of the planet, they're gonna connect with you somehow. So that's the whole thing. And it came in a very, it couldn't come in a better time, you know what I mean? It couldn't come in a better time, because it just came a time when everyone was locked, everyone was trying to find their way in life again, try to adjust themselves, and suddenly something that they can just can share or just connect with other people around the globe. So yeah, thanks for the word, thanks for the kind words.
Thank you.
Okay, next question for you is, what was your worst foot in mouth moment?
Wow. Well, it's still very painful to think about and talk about. I had a really bad reaction to someone making an accusation about me, which cost the friendship. And I really just wish I had stopped and paused and thought. Instead, I reacted. I'm an extremely emotional person, and I find I tend to react before I think. So I defended my actions, and actually I didn't do what I was accused of, but I didn't handle it well.
It happened to all of us. I think we are here to learn, you know what I mean, to look back and go like, you know what, I should have changed that. But for some reason, it meant to happen, you know?
Well, I do believe that. I believe everything happens. I'm not a terribly religious person, but I believe in the universe. It's how I am comfortable phrasing it. Yeah. The universe speaks to me all the time. And I don't believe anything happens by accident. Though I still wrestle with why I had to lose this friendship. But anyway.
It's part of the journey. It's part of the journey, yeah?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Next question, Andrew, let's do it. Next question for you is, what's the best compliment have you ever received?
Well, I love getting compliments about my art, but I think it's maybe indirect compliment from my husband that people are my drug of choice. And I remember even as a young kid, my mother would say, you know, you have an amazing way of connecting to people. I don't know what that is. It's just always sort of been there. I don't know if that answers your question.
Absolutely, totally, absolutely.
Okay.
And in your opinion, what's the most beautiful lesson you learned from your husband so far?
Wow. I think it's to let people live their lives and be who they are. To try not to judge people, to be kind. Yeah, he's a pretty amazing man. He's sitting across from me, so I don't know if he's getting this or not.
Ooh. If he doesn't, he will watch the interview anyway, so that's
right.
Next question. Okay, next question is, what things do you consider to be relationship deal breakers?
Wow. I would guess dishonesty. What would you have to do to me? I think to be dishonest, to be unwilling to be vulnerable. You know, if we can't be vulnerable with our significant other, then, and I'm not someone who's interested in, as I've probably made clear, you know, talking about the weather. I want to know what makes people tick. You know, so to withhold information or would be a deal breaker.
Totally agree. I agree with you. Good one. Next question. Okay, Andrew, just before the next question, tell me, and what was the most challenging part to put all your project together?
The most challenging part, and I credit a friend of mine, was I was concerned that everybody got in the book. And I was struggling with, it was going to be too big a book. And a friend of mine said, you know what, this is not a popularity contest. This is not about models and their feelings. He said, I understand that you're concerned. That's nice that you're worried about people not getting in the book might be hurt. But he said, this is about your art. So it was picking, and with that advice, I really just went for images I wanted to put in the book. And one model bought the book from me. He texted me and said, I'm in tears. And I said, why are you in tears? And he said, I'm in your book 10 times. It's like, you are? I have no idea. I have no idea how many times models are in the book. Yeah.
That was the most challenging part, to get all together.
Yeah, and I gave myself a lot of permission. I'm somebody, I need to park between the lines at the supermarket. I need to follow, I don't necessarily always follow the speed limit, but I'm a rule follower. And I'm a graphic artist by profession. So I was thinking, okay, we have to have a format, we have to do this, we have to do that. And I looked through a lot of art books and I thought, okay, you can do whatever you want. For my whole career, I had someone over my shoulder going, oh, I don't know if we want that to be blue. I could do whatever I wanted. And so I gave myself a lot of permission to different size photos. I even threw some color photos, which I don't do often. But I can do that. So
Very interesting.
But it's challenging to get to that point.
I see. Okay, next question for you is, if you could stay any age for the rest of your life, which age would that be and why?
I'm gonna say 55. And I hesitate to not say the age I am now, because the age I am now is also wonderful. And I'm grateful to be 65 and relatively healthy. But it was interesting. My mother said, wait till you get to your 40s. Your 40s are the best. Well, my mother had not been successful having children. And in her 40s, she and my father built their first home. My mother got pregnant. Everything fell into place for my mother. So I kept going around in my 40s going like, well, this sucks, but the 50s are when I think I really decided, you're just gonna live. It's when I think I really actively picked up the camera. And, you know, in the beginning, people used to say, you know, what is your subject? And I'd be like, well, it's the moon. And they'd say, excuse me. And I'd say, it's the moon. And I think in my 50s, it was like, okay, you know what? This is who I am. I've always been interested in the body. Let's own this. Let's own Andrew. So the 50s and in my 60s, I'm finding, and I think some of it's pandemic related, I've stepped back and my husband and I often talk about getting out of comfort zones. And I am now again in my life focused on getting out of comfort zones. But I loved my 50s. You're not there yet, but you have that to look forward to.
No, yes, absolutely. Next year, I'm gonna be 40 next year.
Oh, okay, well, keep me posted.
Hey. I will. Next question. Let's do, Andrew. Let's get another question for you. Right, what is your most embarrassing moment?
Most embarrassing moment. Wow. I feel like I have all kinds of embarrassing moments.
We all do.
Yeah. The one that comes to mind, I'm just going to go with, is bringing a model into the studio and wanting to appear to be professional and together and picking up the camera and having the model look at me and say, you might want to take the lens cap off. Yeah, I know. I was getting to that.
That's funny. But you were so fast with your answer. Straight away, your answer was very fast. I like it. Next question. Let's do it. Next question for you is, do you know anyone who is living their life to the fullest?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no because it's almost like when I've taken the perfect photo, I'm done. And I think if you've got your perfect life, it's sort of like, well, maybe you're done, and that would be a shame. So I'm gonna go with no.
Great, I love your answer. Amazing, I love that. I love it. Next one, let's do it. Right, before the next question, besides this little story, you just told me now that you forgot to have the thing on your camera. Tell me, share with us like another fun story that happened during your process of putting the book together, like doing a photo shoot or something funny that you're not expecting, something that happened you can share.
What comes to mind is through the process of art and working with models, we have a very, very dear friend who reminds me a lot of you. And he's enthusiastic and wonderful. We adore this guy. And he's interviewing people. He's getting into video and he's often interviewing older gay men, which is interesting. And I met him because he asked me if he could model for me. Initially he said, love your work. And I said, love your work. And, this is sort of the dance that happens. And then he was in DC area down in Washington. And he said, I said, we should work together. And he texted back, when? Like, okay. And I went to my husband's name is Edward. I went to Edward and said, I'm going to have to put this person up because I can't afford a hotel. Long story short, Samuel has become a very dear, we call him our unofficially adopted son. And the thing I love about is he takes modeling extremely seriously. And he gets to a point where he just can't contain it. So he goes, it's just these wonderful, I have to show this then. And it's just, he just has to release this energy. And
Oh, wow.
and
Beautiful.
and that was obviously a Photoshop for an art exhibit I was doing, which was entitled Humor. And I was yelled at that I had to exhibit my art. And I said, my art isn't funny. And they said, well, put a funny name on it. I was like, yeah, I'm not, this is not going to be funny. But so I took one of my, what I call them are my Happy Sam pictures. And it's that he just has to expel that energy, and then he can go back to being, so he makes, we adore this guy, and I adore working with him. We've become so close that it's an experiment. Instead of my feeling like I have to make perfect art, I can play. So I'll say, you know what, I'm gonna try a different angle on the light. Don't touch the light, don't touch the light. You've got it good. Don't touch the light. It's like, no, I have to. And we have this wonderful, and it's all fun. It's all fun.
Very good. Very good, very good. Okay, next question for you is, what is the nicest thing a family member has ever done for you?
I have had the gift of the most amazing people in my life. And I have been given incredible gifts. The one that comes to mind, we had a very dear friend. We were a very small family. So if you step foot in our family, you're probably stuck. You're gonna be, so my mother had a woman she worked with when she was a young woman, and Aunt Brad, and we adored her because her mother was a vaudevillian performer, and we would pick her up at the train, and my brother and I we'd all sing show tunes. And Aunt Brad, I remember when I first moved in with Edward, and I wasn't hiding my sexual preference and my lifestyle, but I wasn't standing on a soapbox. And I had this wonderful talk with Aunt Brad, and she said, I've kept you on the phone long enough. She said, I want you to go. I want you to give Edward a big kiss on the forehead for me. But she knows, and it's okay.
Absolutely.
And that was a huge gift.
Oh, beautiful. I'm glad that this question came up to you. I'm so happy. Oh, beautiful. You shared that. Beautiful, beautiful.
I actually wear her wedding ring. It used to wear it as a pinky ring, and then when we got married, I had it enlarged, and it's her wedding ring. So
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Next question, Andrew.
Okay.
Okay, Andrew, next question is, what's your favorite guilty pleasure TV show?
I don't watch a lot of TV. The joke in the family is, if anything happens to Edward, I'll have to read a book. Because there's all these clickers and there's all these things, and I don't know how to do it. And I can work a computer, I could certainly work a television, but I'm trying to think. We loved Schitt's Creek. That was a wonderfully acted, and when I first saw it, I thought, I'm not gonna get into this. Actually, we had both separately tried it and thought, yeah, this is just too irreverent. It's too, but we really loved it. That was a real good, I think, a guilty pleasure.
And what is about the show? What is about?
Oh, okay. It's a wealthy family who loses all of their money and has to move into a motel. And it's the husband and wife in one room, and next door are the sister and brother. And they're learning how to be human. They've come from this position where they didn't really have to be kind or sensitive or practical, and they're learning that. And it's underneath all of this, and it's just really well acted, but underneath all of this is, it's extremely funny, but it's also got a really good message. Really good message.
Very good, very good. I need to watch it. I need to get into it.
Yes, yes.
Next question, Andrew. Let's do it. Right, before the next one, so you always had the support of your family being gay?
Well, interesting enough, and I don't know if my brother will hate me for this. My father didn't live to see me gay. He's also gay, and so, but my mother was amazing. She considered both my husband and my brother-in-law her son-in-laws, my brother felt that my father would have been absolutely fine with our being gay, but my mother would not, and I felt exactly the opposite. So it's interesting, but I have really had a walk in the park compared to what people I know have been through. And then you put on top of that what transgender people are going through, and you just feel like I have something to complain about. So more than you needed probably in an answer, but.
Oh no, yes, there are a lot of people there, you know what I mean, with very drastic stories, you know what I mean, like family not supporting, put them out of the house. And I think, I feel fortunate as well. I think we need to be grateful for those, you know what I mean, because I think all of us, we go through that somehow, you know what I mean, we go through that point in our lives, we go like, oh my God, how the world's gonna take that, how our family's gonna take that, how our neighbors or people around us gonna take that. But I feel lucky as well. I think there are some people, they went through hard times, I think.
Right.
A lot of people, hard times.
And you know, the other thing that's sort of interesting is I look at my artwork and this book as almost a second coming out, because there are people who don't know that I photographed the nude. And so it's, and you know, some of my family, you know, they've been supportive, but when they first heard that I was working on this art, I got a couple sort of derogatory remarks, and they've all come around. But that was interesting for me. It was sort of like, okay, I'm doing it again. Coming out once wasn't enough.
Good, very good. Next question for you is, what's the most dramatic argument you ever had?
I don't know if I want to go with that. I worked for a woman who had some issues, and was very cruel to some of the employees, and I didn't side with her on something, and so I went from being golden boy to doormat, and I was brought up to respect my elders, and I was brought up to respect women. And so for me, this was extremely hard, but she came at me one day and I lost it. And I screamed at her and I stormed out of the place, and I actually came home and wrote my resignation letter without having another job. That's probably the most dramatic. And to this day, I feel shame that I wasn't able to treat her with respect, though I wasn't getting respected, but I still would like to have been, again, I probably might have wanted to pause.
Yeah, we go through sometimes arguments. It's difficult sometimes to deal with, you know what I mean, people sometimes, you know, regardless, some people, you know what I mean, people, they have personalities, you know, different points of views, and sometimes it's hard for us to kind of adjust to the person, or even to accept, to understand sometimes. I know what I mean. It can be hard sometimes.
Yes, yes. And you can't walk in someone else's shoes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's awfully easy to put your own story on someone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we can't possibly, I don't even know what I'm about half the time. How could I possibly know what you're about?
Absolutely.
And why you might respond a certain way to something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Next question.
Okay.
Let's do it. Next question for you is, what do you miss the most of your childhood and why?
All of it. I think I would have been diagnosed as probably ADD or ADHD, or
yeah,
had I been a child today. So I'm a good friend of mine used to say to me, "Did you get your chores done today, or was there a squirrel?" Meaning, squirrel. But I feel like I had an idyllic childhood. There were certainly things that if I could have, I would have changed, but it was really a magical childhood. And I think the thing that I think about is lying on the lawn and watching clouds, or being on the swing set for just hours, just back and forth, and getting higher, and just that kind of thing.
I remember childhood. Remember we were always expecting our birthday. It took so long to arrive. Christmas as well. It took so long. You're like, oh my God. Nowadays, just like that, like a blink of eyes, just like this.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, I remember being a child. Like, my God, I was counting the days for Christmas, counting the days for my birthday. I miss that. I miss those days. Yes. Right, Andrew. I have 3 questions left for you. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, next question for you is, what's the biggest difference between you and your partner?
Well, he's an adult. He's extremely practical. He's very grounded. He keeps me from just going out into the ether. I mean, so I think that's our difference, where he's very grounded. He's a Scorpio, and I know you are, because I watched some of your videos, and I'm a Pisces. So
interesting. My mom is Pisces. My mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's Pisces. Yeah, and which day is his birthday? Your partner?
He's the 11th. And I think you're the 17th.
17th. Yeah, 17th. Scorpio. Ooh, Scorpio.
I draw Scorpios, Cancers, and Pisces as a rule. Yeah.
Very interesting. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Next question for you is, what does your best friend do that comforts you the most?
I guess just talk, sharing. Yeah.
Being there for you.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, I think best friends, like a chemistry, don't choose to be best friends with people. It just happens naturally. When the chemistry is there, that's it.
Yes.
Totally agree. Andrew, ready for the last one?
Yes.
Let's do it. Before the next question, when you look back, like since last year, 2020, March 2020, when the world went upside down, yeah? When you look back, what is the most beautiful, let's say, what's the most positive thing you took out of it, and what's the most negative part that you kind of find yourself that you are not expecting?
It's almost the same answer. The most negative thing that I think I've come from out of it with is how fractured we are, how much hatred we're feeling for each other. And I don't want to get into politics, but I've never felt I wouldn't embrace someone no matter what their political views. And I'm struggling with that now. By the same token, we had an issue in our town about racism. And I always thought of our town being a little more progressive, a little more liberal. And there was a small faction, I now know was a small faction that really pushed back, felt that there was no such thing as white privilege. And just a lot of hateful stuff. They started sending mailings. And what the result of that has been, the town has created hate has no home here signs, and the outline of our town and word reading, and they're everywhere. They're at the end of people's driveway. Like, I don't know what the percentage is. I mean, there are obviously some houses who haven't gotten them, some houses who I'm sure feel that, but just haven't put a sign out. But I was really beginning to feel like, okay, I don't know that I want to live in this town if this is how people feel. And it turns out it's not. I don't believe I'm going to live long enough to see the world heal. That I feel it's just so deep. And that's heartbreaking. But I look at myself and I think to myself, well, there are people who have a lot of hatred, and I can't support them. I can't hear them. I can't. So if that's how I feel, then the people on the opposite side are feeling it too. And I just don't see how it's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
And again, I feel that what you're doing here is a step. It's a big step.
Yeah, I think, as you said, maybe we're not going to be able to see it, to live it, through it, but we're going to leave somehow we're going to leave our touch as well, our little help, you know what I mean, to get there.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Andrew, last question. Let's do it. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, good one. I'm glad this question came out. Okay. I would like you to send a message to someone, but you don't need to tell who this message is for. Just the person who's going to be watching will know this message is for this person.
I'm sorry you didn't feel safe with me, and I'm sorry you didn't trust me.
We leave that. Okay, Andrew, it's not the end of the show yet. What I'm going to do now, let's play the word association game. So I'm going to give away some words, and you just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with money.
Evil.
Family.
Heart.
Love.
Ecstasy.
Life.
A gift.
Sex.
Heaven.
Religion.
I want to say misguided, but that doesn't really say what I'm thinking. But because I know it, for some people, it's a beautiful thing, and it's their support. For me, I can't help but see the awful things that have happened in the name of religion. But
Politics.
Is a gasp enough? Misguided.
Fear.
Bear.
Oops.
Only because we've got bears coming back into the area.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, interesting. Oh, wow.
So because I'm an outdoor person and hike a lot, I'm wondering, do I need protection?
Wow, very interesting. I like that. Friendship.
The greatest.
Desire.
Passion.
Regrets.
Yes.
Success.
Pride.
Happiness.
Joy.
Wish.
Do wish.
Okay. And if I tell you photography, one word.
Passion again.
And one word for being seen.
My heart.
Okay. And the last one now, USA, one word.
Gratitude.
Very good, very good.
Not
Right,
to be, not to be confused with pride. I'm not proud.
I know what you mean, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I'm grateful.
Very good. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your lovely husband for a cup of tea, and I'm going to ask him what the most beautiful thing about Andrew, and what is something that he needs to work on, he needs to improve on. What do you think your husband will tell me?
I think he would tell me that the most beautiful thing is my connecting to people. I'm the hunter-gatherer. I'm the one who goes out and makes the connections. And he loves meeting some of these models that become friends. And the thing I need to work on is being an adult. Paying bills on time, making sure my car is taken care of.
Are you sure you're not Scorpio? I think you should be Scorpio because I am like that.
No kidding. Well, you must have your moon or something in a different place.
Sagittarius. I'm Sagittarius. The second one is Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is the childhood, the childish of the whole circle. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, there it goes.
Right, so let's play now Andrew and the magic box, and you can ask me a question, okay? Okay, Andrew, you can ask me a question now.
Okay. So, have you or ever would you model naked?
I love the question. I love the question. And I will tell you why. I'll tell you why I love the question. I would say yes. I would say yes, and I'll explain why. I never had a naked pictures taken. Never had. And it's very interesting you asked this question, Andrew, because for some reason, for example, always been comfortable with my body. Yeah, I've always been comfortable. I like working out. I like going to the gym. I've been doing exercise through my life. I was playing volleyball for years and years. And I'm okay. I'm okay with my body. I'm okay being around, you know what I mean? If I need to dress out for a shower in the gym or something, I never had problems.
Okay.
But for some reason, I always had this thing of, because believe it or not, I'm a shy person. I'm a very shy person. And I don't know why. I always had this thing about being naked. I don't know why. I remember, for example, when I go to sleep, I need to have a piece of clothes, a shorts or a t-shirt or something. I'm never naked. And I had a boyfriend in the past, and he loved being naked, like sleeping naked. And sometimes he was coming to my place, I was going to his place, and sometimes, when I was sleeping over, and sometimes he said, "Oh, just sleep naked with me, just for a change." And I was okay about it. I mean, it took me a while to sleep, but I was okay about it. And it's funny because one day, I'll never forget that. I went in the middle of the night, I went to the bathroom. And when I came back, I was literally hide myself, like hide my genital. And he looked at me because it's so unconscious. And he looked at me and said, "Willie, what you are doing?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "My God, why you are hiding yourself?" I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't realize that. It was unconscious." And he said to me, I said to him, "Actually, it's very interesting you ask that because it's so unconscious that for me, it's like being shy, you know what I mean? I need to hide or something." And he made me think about it, and I was like, yeah, it made me trying to analyze a little bit why. So yes, answer to your question, I would do yes, but I would do it if I would have some connection with the person, you know what I mean? If there is some connection, or if there is some kind of safe in a place where I can be naked, safe, and you know what I mean? I believe everything about connection is about. So I would say yes. I would say yes if I would be, you know what I mean? If I would have connection and be, you know what I mean? Be kind of connect with the person. That's for sure. That's for sure. I love the question because actually I was before the interview I was thinking about share with you this kind of personal thing just for you to understand or to explain me why some people they they are not shy, but they cannot be naked in front of, you know what I mean, other people. And so yes, I think because I'm a shy person, I never kind of tend to be, not because I'm ashamed or anything, you know what I mean, something about my body, but it's just like, I think it's the fact that I'm shy. I think that's the answer to you. But if I would have connection, if I would be safe, I would for sure. That's for sure.
I'm curious to ask that question of people because a byproduct of what I do is healing. That you would not believe the number of people who have come to me and I say, so what possessed you to want to model? And they said, well, I had trauma as a child, or I just have always hated my body, or, you know, some of these buff 20-something-year-olds will look at me and they go, you know, I'd love to work with you again, but I promise next time I'll be in shape. And I had a wonderful woman. I'd never met her, but she was the trainer of a friend of mine who modeled. He showed her the photo. She said, I'd like to do that. She came to my house. I opened the door and immediately felt this woman was beaten down. She was in the middle of a divorce. She wasn't getting alimony. She wasn't getting child support. And then she looked at me and she said, you're going to be the first man to see me naked in over 30 years. I said, well, we don't have to do that. I said, we can do portraits, we can do underwear, we can, no, I need to do this. So we go in and I always show the model what we're getting, because I do some modeling and it's interesting if someone goes click, 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 well, thank you so much. And you have no idea what just happened. And
right.
You feel very vulnerable and very naked, whereas you may, if you're lit well, you may not be naked looking at all. But anyway, I show her the back of the camera and she would say, oh, that's beautiful. Andrew, that's not me. It's like, it is you. And
wow.
Then I show her the camera again and she'd say, oh my God. She said, that's not me. That is you. I don't think we get to see ourselves in our beauty.
I see.
So,
yes, and adding to the answer, I would tell you, I would be so comfortable being photographed by you. That's for sure, because I already feel connected. And I think it's all about connecting. It's all about it's a work of the photographer as well. The photographer is in charge of making you feel connected or safe, or you know what I mean, and protected. I think absolutely.
It's true, and I've talked to other photographers who are like, you know, in conversation, I said, people have to feel respected. They have to feel safe. I always tell a model, anything I ask you to do, if it's physically or emotionally uncomfortable, we don't do it. We just don't do it. And I also think it's got to be fun. You know, you have to, you know, I could never be so serious about my art that it wasn't fun. So,
great.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. So I'll put you on the calendar.
Okay. Oh. Yes, let's talk about that. It'll be amazing. I mean, I'll be amazed. My God, imagine. And if my picture will be chosen to be in the book, I'll be even more amazed.
The second book? Yes.
Andrew, did you have a good time, man? Did you enjoy the interview?
I hope you know that I had a lovely time. This has really been just beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I think I'm glad that you accepted the invitation. Thanks so much for taking the time on Sunday morning to interview with me. I'm blessed. I feel blessed doing this show because I connect with so many people around the globe, as I said before, and it's so nice to connect with people like you. They have so much to share. Very interesting, very open, very friendly. You know what I mean? And I think I'm fortunate to do this show. And actually, as I told you before, today is a special day because today I'm celebrating 300 interviews on my show so far. So it couldn't be on a better date for this interview. And I think it's thank you so much. Thanks for being kind and sweet and take the time to do this little journey, this interaction with me. It's been a blessing. Thanks so much.
It goes both ways, William. It's a blessing for me too.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And if you don't mind to share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires you in life before you go.
Since you mentioned that, I don't know if you know this book, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse.
It rings a bell, but I don't think I've read it, but it rings a bell, the name.
Charlie McKessie, I think is his name. Anyway, I marked a couple things that this book is just wonderful. And it's the boy talking to the mole. Sometimes I worry you'll realize I'm ordinary, said the boy. Love doesn't need you to be extraordinary, said the mole. And it's that kind of feeling throughout the whole book. It's you know, you can read it in half an hour, but it's a lovely book. And I suddenly thought, I know where my quote's coming from.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you.
Fun. Nice.
We keep in touch, okay? Andrew, all the best, all the regards for your husband, everyone, okay? Keep in touch, okay? All the best.
Yes, you too. Have the best day.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.